6 episodes in, and we have fully assembled this colorful team of dessert-themed heroines. They've given children all over Japan a new appreciation for sweets, while also giving their parents massive headaches as they have to bake with them every weekend after they see the recipes that they play at the end of every episode. Still that, and the diabetes that will likely result from all of this, let's take a look back at the first 6 episodes of this series and see how they've been faring so far. For this video, we'll take a look at the key factors that make for a good Precure season, as well as a good superhero team show in general. First of all, a team is nothing if it doesn't have some well-defined characters, so let's take a look at them. Going a little in reverse order, let's start off with the high school age duo of Yukari Kotozume and Akira Kenjo. The two of them are an interesting case because there's only one other active Precure about their age. More on her in a future video, by the way, shameless plug. Due to their age, these sorts of team members would usually become more mentor-like figures to the team, which they sort of are, but here they are also shown to have their own flaws. Ironically enough, it's also because they're older that they have such flaws. Both of them are 17 or so, meaning that they're just on the cusp of entering young adulthood, and therefore are developing concerns about how the world around them perceives them. In Yukari's case, it's more of an internal struggle of her dealing with her pride and perfectionist tendencies, while with Akira it's more external, with her worrying about satisfying the needs of those around her, especially her sick little sister. In the end, both are putting unnecessary pressure on themselves. It's actually kind of interesting that the cures with the cat and dog motifs have similar yet opposite goals. You could say that they're kind of meant for each other. Yeah, I'm just adding fuel to the ship right now, aren't I? Nonetheless, while they haven't gotten quite as much characterization as their younger teammates, I do see potential in their characters developing in interesting ways should they address these issues. Of course, it's hard to say whether or not the writers are actually going to make these aspects integral parts of their character arcs, but if they are, then honestly I applaud them for tackling such a delicate stage in a young person's life. Moving on to the middle school trio, as we'll call them, we've got my personal favorite, Aoi Tategami. Aoi was just a character I instantly gravitated towards because 1, I like J-pop, and 2, I like my heroines who sing J-pop. Aside from that, Aoi is an energetic character done right in my opinion. Passionate, but never annoyingly so, and even acknowledges that becoming too passionate over something could be detrimental. As someone who's probably overthought a few scripts in the past, I can understand the feeling. In ways, she shares a lot of similarities with a couple of other energetic blue cures, and if she keeps on the right track, she might actually be another home run just like those two. Next up, we have Himari Arisugawa. While Aoi is my favorite, Himari was the one I related the most to because I've been in her situation. Usually I'm not a huge fan of shy characters because all too often the creators don't give any real valid reason why they're so damn shy, and more importantly, why we should even care about them. This anime, however, actually took the time to show the reasoning behind Himari's shyness by showing it through a very realistic and not all over the top manner. Yeah, they could have easily made these kids total jerkasses just to up Himari's whoopee status, but they didn't. They just had them act like kids instead of Hellspawn. As a result, while not really degrading her, they did show that Himari does need to learn how to talk to people. That to me is how you make an endearing shy character. Yayoi and Inori were cute and everything, but I think I found my new favorite sunflower-colored cure. Last and most importantly, we have the leader, the character who could make or break a good team. For Ichika Usami, making a good team is just as easy as making a good cake. Literally, she pretty much assembled her team by making good desserts for them. Not a bad tactic, I'll admit. Still, along with that, she's also shown to be very in tune with other people's feelings. She knows when to support her friends, and when to back away and let them sort things out for themselves. Yet, in spite of knowing how to contend with other people's feelings, she seems to have difficulty understanding her own feelings. Again, here's hoping this becomes an integral part of her character arc. She still has a lot to learn as a leader, but right now she at least has the basics down pat, and in fact is probably better than most modern Red Super Sentai. At least her catchphrase is cute and not ear-gratingly annoying. As a whole, I really like this team. No one feels out of place or useless because they each have their own unique skill sets. Yeah, Yukari and Akira did seem like they're a bit stronger than their teammates, but I'd equate that more to the power bonus they get during their debut episodes. Most of all, they each have their own distinct personalities and quirks. You could say Ichika and Aoi are a bit alike, but I sense more of a Gintoki and Shinpachi vibe between them, minus the abundance of yelling. So yeah, they've developed the protagonist of this anime pretty darn well so far. Wish I could say the same about the antagonists. Yeah, the Kirakira thieves are all around just poorly put together villains. I mean that in both terms of their designs and their motivations. First of all, these guys just have weird designs, and not in the good abstract sort of weird way. I still can't figure out what this anteater possum platypus thing is supposed to be. Whatever the case, they just haven't come off as all that memorable to me. Not helped by the fact that 6 episodes in, we still don't really know what their deal is. They seem like your standard fairy kingdom destroying villains who inconvenience humans by making high calorie treats inedible. I'm not saying they can't be threats, but without any real backstory or even a big bad at this point, this conflict feels kind of empty. Hopefully the master in the opening will show up in the next episode. But yeah, that leads into my biggest issue with this anime so far. The world building has been very minimal. We really don't know much about the conflict between Pecorine's homeworld and the Kirakira thieves. Who created the thieves? Why did they want to mess up the world, as they say? Is the elder a ghost, or did he touch the sheep talisman? It seems like they're gonna start addressing all of this in the next episode, but really, they should have started tackling all of this a little bit earlier on. Now, all of that said, I don't think the story overall is anywhere near bad. In spite of missing such important story elements, the episodes as they are move along at a good pace. The characters each get in a decent amount of screen time, and nothing feels overly wasteful. Even the kind of sort of filler episode that came in the middle of all of this includes some good character development. And in fact, that's probably why the world building has unfortunately taken a bit of a backseat. I get that they want to focus more on developing the heroines, and they've done a good job with that. I just wish they balanced that and the world building a little better. Like, give the fairies at least a minute or two to give exposition during these early episodes, and not make them seem completely useless. Those are just my thoughts, because aside from that, I think the production has been pretty darn solid. On top of having those amazingly animated baking montages, the fight quality has remained fairly consistent. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they're not punchy as much, but as a result, it seems like they're becoming a little bit more creative with the fights. It's hard to judge right now if the series will be able to deliver some quality climactic fights, since a lot of them right now are like about the length of a mismatched UFC fight. But just like most UFC, you can kind of sense there's something better around the corner. Also, let me just get one thing straight. The higher ups say to hold back on the punching, but swinging a monster around by its tongue, or punching it while it's a giant snowball, that's a-okay. Alright. If anything else, the music of this anime is going to keep me coming back. Not only is the opening and ending fantastic, but those insert songs. Oh lord, I love insert songs, especially if they're sung by the actors or actresses of the main characters. Just take my money and give me a CD already! And those are my general thoughts on this series so far. If you want more in-depth looks at each individual episode, check out my other videos. Otherwise, quick closing thoughts. I hope we get a lot more world building in the upcoming episodes, especially in regards to the villains. Favorite episode so far has been Kira Gelato's debut, best alternative I have until a 4th season of Sinful Gear, and the Yuri has been quite satisfactory. If you have your own thoughts in regards to this season, feel free to comment below. The framework for a great season is there. Let's see how they capitalize on it. And until then, farewell for now, my friends, and... oh crap, where did I throw my wallet?